Your brain is like a supercomputer, and your thoughts are its software. When you think positively, your brain releases chemicals called dopamine and serotonin. These chemicals act like tiny helpers that make you feel happy, calm, and motivated. For example, if you tell yourself, "I can do this," before a test, your brain sends these helpers to boost focus and energy. But negative thoughts work differently. They trigger cortisol, a stress chemical. Too much cortisol is like pouring muddy water into your brain's garden, and you feel tired, worried, or even sick. Ria, a 14-year-old student, hated math. Every time she saw numbers, her stomach would twist. She would say, "I am terrible at math. I will never pass." Her grades got worse, and she felt stuck. One day, her teacher, Mr. Lee, noticed her frustration. He said, "Ria, let's try something new. Every time you solve a problem, say, 'I am getting better,' even if it is hard." At first, Ria laughed. But she tried it. Before class, she would whisper, "I will try my best." Slowly, something changed. When she faced a tough equation, instead of panicking, she would take a deep breath and say, "I can figure this out." After a month, Ria's test scores improved from D's to B's. She even helped her friends solve a homework problem. "My brain feels clearer now," she told Mr. Lee. He smiled. "That is your positive thoughts watering your brain's garden." Scientists have spent decades studying how positivity changes lives. One famous study by the University of Pennsylvania tested two groups of students. Both were given a difficult puzzle to solve. Group A received encouraging messages like, "You are smart. Take your time." Group B got no encouragement. The result? Group A solved the puzzle 30% faster. Researchers found that positive words activated the students' problem-solving brain areas, while stress shut them down. Another study tracked people for 10 years. Those who practiced gratitude, a form of positivity, had 20% lower stress levels, and slept better than those who did not. Tom and Sam worked at the same company for 5 years. One day, the company closed, and both lost their jobs. Tom felt nervous but told himself, "This is a chance to find something better." He updated his resume, joined online courses, and messaged old friends for job tips. Some days were tough, but he would say, "I will get there." At an interview, the hiring manager asked, "Why are you smiling?" "You lost your job." Tom replied, "I see it as a new beginning." Impressed by his positivity, the manager hired him as a team leader. Sam thought, "No one will hire me. I am too old." He stayed home, watched TV, and avoided friends. When his sister suggested applying for jobs, he snapped, "What is the point?" 3 months later, Sam was still jobless. His negativity made him miss opportunities. A friend recommended a job, but Sam did not apply. "I will fail the interview anyway," he said. Positive thinking does not just help your mind, it heals your body too. Studies show optimistic people have a 50% lower risk of heart disease. Positive emotions boost your immune system, helping you fight colds and infections. People who laugh often live 7 years longer on average. Doctors even use laughter therapy in hospitals. Patients who watch funny movies or joke with nurses often recover faster from surgeries. Maria, a 65-year-old grandmother, was diagnosed with a serious illness. Her doctor warned, treatment will be tough. You will feel weak and sick. But Maria refused to give up. Every morning, she would say, "Today, I will find something to laugh about." She binge-watched old comedies, told jokes to her nurses, and even danced to silly songs in her hospital room. One nurse asked, "How are you always smiling?" Maria winked, "Laughter is my secret medicine." After 6 months, Maria's test results shocked her doctor. Her body was healing faster than expected. Your positivity strengthened your immune system, the doctor said. It is like you fought the illness with joy. Maria hugged him. I did not just survive, I enjoyed the ride. Positive affirmations are short, powerful sentences you say to yourself to replace negative thoughts. For example, I am strong, or I can learn from my mistakes. These sentences act like mental vitamins, they slowly train your brain to focus on hope instead of fear. When you repeat affirmations, your brain's thinking area, the prefrontal cortex, gets stronger. Over time, this helps you stay calm and make better decisions. Studies show people who use affirmations daily feel 30% more confident in tough situations. Aisha, a shy college student, was terrified of public speaking. Every time she had to present, her hands shook, and her mind went blank. One day, her professor said, "Your voice matters. Try writing down why you are scared." Aisha wrote, "I am scared people will laugh at me." Then, her professor told her to flip it into a positive sentence, "I am brave, and my ideas are worth sharing." Aisha practiced saying this every morning while brushing her teeth. She even stuck the sentence on her mirror. At first, she felt silly. But before her next presentation, she whispered, "I am brave," 3 times. During her speech, her voice still trembled, but she kept going. Afterward, a classmate said, "Your project was amazing. How did you stay so calm?" Aisha realized her affirmations had worked. By the end of the semester, she volunteered to present first. Optimism is like a muscle, you can make it stronger with practice. For example, write 3 things you are thankful for every day. For example, my mom made my favorite meal today. Or, the sunset was beautiful. Spend time with people who uplift you, not those who complain all day. Did you finish a task? Say, "Great job," to yourself. Carlos worked long hours at a factory and often felt exhausted. One day, his daughter gave him a jar and said, "Papa, write 1 happy thing every day. Let's fill it up." Carlos laughed but agreed. The first day, he wrote, "My coffee tasted perfect." The next day, a stranger smiled at me on the bus. Soon, Carlos started noticing good moments everywhere, the smell of rain, a coworker's joke. After a month, his jar was full. His daughter said, "Let's read them." As Carlos read each note, he realized his tiredness had faded. He even started humming at work. His boss noticed and said, "You are always so positive now. Want to train new workers?" Carlos's gratitude did not change his job, it changed how he saw his job. Negative thoughts are like weeds, they grow fast if you do not pull them out. You can follow the psychological technique of cognitive reframing to overcome negative thoughts. For example, notice the negative thought, "I will never be good at this." Now challenge this negative thought by asking yourself, is this 100% true? Have I ever improved at something before? Finally, replace your negative thought by saying, I am still learning, and that is okay. Cognitive reframing is proven to reduce anxiety by 40% in 6 weeks. Priya, a single mom, dreamed of opening a bakery. But when her first cake collapsed, she cried, I am a terrible baker. I should quit. Her friend Robbie said, what if you ask, what did I learn, instead? Priya said, I learned that ovens need preheating. She wrote down her mistake and tried again. The next cake was better, but the frosting melted. Instead of crying, Priya laughed. I learned to use cold bowls for frosting. After 10 tries, Priya baked a perfect cake. She posted a photo online with the caption, Every disaster taught me something. Soon, neighbors ordered cakes from her. Today, Priya runs a small home bakery. Her secret? I turned I failed into I learned. Positive thinking does not just help you, it spreads to everyone around you. When you approach relationships with kindness and hope, you build trust, and people feel safe opening up to you. It helps you resolve conflicts. For example, staying calm helps solve problems faster. Further, it helps you create joy because smiles and encouragement make others feel valued. Studies show that couples who focus on each other's strengths, instead of flaws, have happier, longer-lasting relationships. Lena moved into a new apartment. Her neighbor, Mr. Park, was always scowling and never said hello. Lena's friends warned, he is so rude. Avoid him. But Lena decided to stay positive. Every morning, she smiled and waved at Mr. Park. At first, he ignored her. One rainy day, she saw him struggling with groceries. Let me help Uncle, she said, holding his umbrella. Mr. Park frowned but let her help. As they walked, Lena joked, rainy days are perfect for tea. To her surprise, he mumbled, I like tea too. The next week, Mr. Park left a box of tea outside her door with a note, thank you. Slowly, he started smiling back. Months later, Lena's friends asked, how did you become friends with him? She laughed and said, positivity is contagious. Now let's see how Sarah harnessed the power of positive thinking. Sarah worked at a cafe but dreamed of becoming a photographer. She had no camera or training. Instead of giving up, she repeated daily, I will find a way. She used her phone to take free online courses and practice during breaks. One customer noticed her photos and said, these are amazing. Can you shoot my wedding? Sarah panicked, she had never done a wedding. But she told herself, I will learn as I go. She borrowed a camera, watched YouTube tutorials, and stayed up all night practicing. The wedding photos were a hit. Soon, more clients hired her. Today, Sarah runs her photography studio. Positive thinking did not make things easy, she says. It made me brave enough to try. Now let's see how Jake used the power of positive thinking. Jake was a soccer star until a knee injury ended his career. Depressed, he isolated himself for months. One day, his coach texted, your mind heals faster when you focus on what is possible. Jake started repeating, I am more than my injury. He volunteered to coach kids' soccer. At first, walking hurt, but laughing with the team lifted his mood. A year later, Jake opened a sports camp for injured athletes. I could not play, but I could still inspire, he says. His camp now helps hundreds of boys rebuild their confidence. Let's go through some practical techniques for implementing positive thinking. Tip 1. Start a positive jar. Write good things that happen each day on slips of paper and put them in the jar. For example, a friend smiled at me, or I scored 100% on a quiz. Read these slips whenever you feel down. Tip 2. Replace but with and to avoid negativity. For example, I am tired, but I have to work. Now let's replace but with and. I am tired, and I will rest after I finish. Tip 3. Visualize success. Close your eyes and imagine yourself achieving a goal. Feel the joy. Athletes and CEOs use this trick daily. Before her piano recital, 12-year-old Anna visualized herself playing perfectly. On stage, she felt calm and nailed her song. Tip 4. Turn complaints into solutions. Let's look at a complaint. This traffic is awful. Now let's turn it into a solution. I will listen to my favorite podcast while I wait in traffic. Negative thinking is like a heavy backpack, it weighs you down and makes every step harder. Our brains naturally focus on problems, a survival instinct, but constant negativity can trap us in fear or sadness. Common challenges include automatic negative thoughts. For example, I will fail, or no one likes me popping up without reason. Another challenge is overgeneralizing. For instance, thinking one bad event means everything is bad. For example, I failed a test, so I am stupid. Research shows that 80% of our worries never happen. Most negative thoughts are just what-ifs, not reality. Maya loved painting but refused to show her work. After a harsh comment on a school project, she thought, everyone will hate my art. She hid her paintings under her bed. One day, her friend found a drawing and gasped, "This is beautiful. Why don't you share it?" Maya admitted, "I am scared people will laugh." Her friend said, "What if they do not?" Maya challenged her fear by posting one painting online. To her surprise, friends praised her unique style. Slowly, she replaced "they will hate it" with "someone might love it." Today, Maya sells her art at local markets. Negative thoughts still come, she says, but I do not let them pick my path. When life gets tough, positivity is not about ignoring pain, it is about finding light in the dark. You can try these strategies. Try the 5-minute rule. For example, let yourself feel sad or angry for 5 minutes, then ask, what is one small step forward? Another strategy is to reframe "why me" to "what now?" For example, focus on solutions, not blame. Another strategy is to remember the past wins. For example, remind yourself, I survived hard times before. I can do it again. A Harvard study found that people who practiced solution-focused thinking during crises recovered 50% faster than those who dwelled on problems. Let's go through the story of Raja's restaurant crisis. Raja's family restaurant struggled after a fire destroyed the kitchen. He thought, we are ruined. But his wife said, let's ask, what can we do now? They set up a food truck with savings, selling their top 3 dishes. Raj worried, what if no one comes? But he focused on small joys, regular customers cheering them on, the smell of fresh spices. 1 year later, the food truck was so popular that they rebuilt the restaurant. Raj says, adversity taught me to look for tiny wins, not wait for big miracles. Self-compassion means treating yourself like a friend, kindly, even when you make mistakes. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after setbacks. Together, they help you grow stronger through challenges. People with high self-compassion have 40% lower anxiety levels. Studies show that resilience can be learned, anyone can build it. Luca, a mechanic, lost his job after a costly mistake. He thought, "I am a failure. I will never work again." One night, his daughter asked, "Daddy, if I failed a test, would you yell at me?" Luca said, "No. I would help you try again." She hugged him and said, "Then be nice to yourself too." Luca wrote a letter to himself. "You messed up, but you are a human. Fix it step by step." He apologized to his old boss, took a free repair course, and applied to new shops. 6 months later, he got a job at a better garage. Self-compassion did not erase my mistake, Luca says. It gave me the courage to fix it. Positive thinking is not just a feel-good trick, it improves every part of your life. Optimistic people solve problems faster, earn promotions, and build stronger teams. Positive thinking lowers stress, preventing illnesses, better sleep, and more energy. Positivity attracts kind, supportive people. Believing I can helps you take risks and learn from mistakes. A 20-year study found that optimistic people earn 30% more money and have happier marriages than pessimists. Kenichi, a farmer in Japan, lived in a village where everyone complained. Too much rain. Too little rain. Crops suffered, and neighbors argued. Kenichi decided to try positivity. He thanked the rain for watering plants, and the sun for warming the soil. He smiled at grumpy neighbors and praised their hard work. Slowly, others copied him. 1 year later, the village's harvest was double that of previous years. The neighbors started sharing tools and helped each other. A travel blogger called it the happiest village in Japan, bringing tourists an extra income. Positive thinking did not just change me, Kenichi said. It changed us. A positive mindset does not just improve life, it can rebuild it. People who embrace positivity often discover hidden strengths. They turn pain into purpose. Further, they inspire others to change. Anna weighed 300 pounds and hated her body. She avoided mirrors and canceled plans, out of shame. One day, her doctor warned, "Your health is at risk." Instead of despairing, Anna thought, "What if I focus on what my body can do, not how it looks?" She started walking 10 minutes a day, saying, "Thank you, legs, for carrying me." As she grew stronger, she added dancing and swimming. She did not fixate on the scale, she celebrated small wins. "I danced for an hour." 2 years later, Anna lost 100 pounds. But her biggest win? She became a fitness coach for plus-sized women. "I used to hide," she says. "Now I help others love themselves today, not someday." Positive thinking is a choice, and like any skill, it takes practice. You will not feel happy every day, but you can always choose hope over fear. Replace one negative thought daily. For example, instead of saying, "Today was awful," say, "Today was tough, but I am tougher." Write a positive quote on your mirror. For example, "I grow with every challenge." A teacher in Brazil asked her students to do one kind act daily for a month. They wrote notes like, you are awesome, and helped classmates with homework. Soon, the whole school joined. Bullies became friends, and grades improved. Parents said, "My kid smiles more." The local news called it the kindness revolution. The teacher said, "Positivity is like a seed. Water it, and it grows into something beautiful." Your mind is your greatest tool. Train it to see light in the dark, and you will unlock a happier, healthier, and more meaningful life. Remember, you do not need to be perfect, just persistent. What positive lessons did you learn from this video? Let me know in the comments.